All right, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for the last of these business classes. This is business call training number 4, and it may be a little redundant for those who are just listening, but the way that my 4 trainings work that I do with every single person who comes to me and says, hey Beverly, I really want to build a business. What do I do? Well, I am a person who loves exact steps. So I like to give exact steps, and that's exactly what I do with these 4 training calls. Now, these are not the only calls that I actually do with my team. The training calls do go on, but they're so much more custom based upon, what happened at the first simple structure class, how their business plan is going, what it is that they want to do next. But these 4, this is the duplicatable system that really gets everybody up and running. So a few weeks ago, we did business call training number 1. That covers what their goal is. Why are they wanting to build a Young Living business right now? What does that monthly number look like, and where does it put them on the compensation plan? It gives everybody their very first assignment, which is to figure out a way to keep up with their time, and then to schedule everything in their life first, followed by those 10 Young Living hours second. And then they get their first business goal, which is for them to find 3 business builders. And again, those business builders, if you are looking for a business builder, you really want to find somebody who, first of all, is going to do that 100 PV Essential Rewards order. Second of all, they need to be willing to do a class. And third, they've got to be willing to do the follow-up of everybody who goes underneath them. So you're going to help them find those 3 business builders, and we're going to do it by simple structure classes. Now, the second class was the teaching of this simple structure class. I went into detail about the introduction and the whiteboard and the giving all of the people who are there, getting their contact information and giving them yours, and how that exchange looks like. And we also went over the $1 million question. And that $1 million question is actually pivotal to this section where we talk about follow-up, because you are going to know what to follow up with people about. And that $1 million question is, of course, I do a weekly educational email. Would you like to receive my educational email? And they say yes, and they hand you their email address. And then you ask the $1 million question, which is fantastic. Are you interested in the oils, the business, or both? And that lets them know, hey, there is a business opportunity here that I'm willing to talk with you about without being pushy or invasive, which I think a lot of people who are out there doing Young Living, that's one of the fears. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to, anybody to feel uncomfortable. So that's a very elegant way of seeing if people really want more business information. And so call number 3 is they will call in, they will teach you the class, and then this is call number 4, which is the follow-up. So let's talk about different follow-up situations and different things that we hear when we are out talking about Young Living. And probably the most common scenario that you're going to run into is you just strike up a conversation with somebody at the kids' school, at the coffee shop, at the yoga, studio. You're talking to your manicurist or your hairstylist, or, if you're a guy, the man equivalent of that. But essentially, you may get somebody who you strike up a conversation with. Now, a really great way to get them more information, because what I hear a lot is, oh, you know what, that sounds fantastic. Can you send me some more information about that? Now, there's a couple of different ways to handle this. One of those ways is by doing the $1 million question, where you say, absolutely, I would love to send you more information. Can I have your email address? And you write it down. And then you ask them, I do an educational email. I send out about once a week. Would you like to receive my educational email? And they'll say, yes, please send me more information. And then you can say, fantastic. Are you interested in the oils, the business, or both? And then you have their contact information, and you can have the conversation go from there. Now, another way to help somebody to get more information when they ask you is by having a simple structure class already set up. So you just decide, okay, I think on February the 10th, I am going to do an Epic Health 101 class, or a Dr. Mom class, or a essential oils for emergency preparation, or whatever it is that appeals to the people that you talk to most. Essential oils for teachers in the classroom. That's what you're going to name your simple structure class. And then just choose a date. And as you begin to talk to people, you're going to invite them all to that same class. Oh, you know what? I am teaching a Teacher's Essential Oils in the Classroom class on Wednesday. Why don't you stop by? It's 7 p.m. Would you like me to send you an invitation? So, and again, if you say the words, would you like me to send you an invitation, you will get their contact information because they're interested in coming, and you can send them their information. So we're going to talk about exactly what you're going to do with those stack of email addresses. So because they all look very much the same. When you have people that you are meeting that want more information, or they would like an invitation to your essential oils class, you're going to go back to your house and you are going to enter all of those email addresses into Marketing Sense. Now, if you don't have Marketing Sense, I suggest that you check it out. It's Marketing Sense, sense is in the smell, SCENTS.com. And it is the one tool that I tell my business builders to get. Now, if you know me, you know that I am not a big, let's lay out a bunch of capital before we start making money kind of a girl. I am very efficient. And so, if I'm saying, hey, this is a fantastic tool, it's worth every penny, then you know that it is absolutely worth every penny. Because what you're going to do with those email addresses is you are going to go back home and you're going to open up, you're going to sign into Marketing Sense, and you're going to open up the Contact Manager, and you are going to enter the name and the email and hopefully the zip code. If you can get their zip code, that's kind of an added bonus. But you want to put those 3 bits of information. Anything that you get above and beyond that is just a bonus. So you put their email address in there, and every single person, regardless of how they answered the question or if they bought products or not, you're going to put them in the product user category. Now, in Marketing Sense, and this is not a Marketing Sense training, but there are different categories that you can choose. I highly recommend just choosing the product user category, and every single person that you put in there, they are going to receive 1 email every single week for the next solid year without you having to so much as pick a font color. It's a fantastic tool, and it's great for follow-up because you can go into the notes section and you can say, I met Sally James at the Starbucks. We struck up a conversation because she was coughing and I happened to have some peppermint oil, so I had her breathe in the peppermint oil or the seeds or whatever you had on you, and she really liked it and wanted more information. And then you go over to the right-hand side and you hit the schedule button and you schedule a return call for her. Okay? Now, what's nice if you are using this tool is that every single day, Marketing Sense is going to send you an email to let you know who it is you're supposed to call that day. Now, if you don't have this tool, that is okay. It just means that you are going to have to get really good with your planner. And every single solitary time you are writing down somebody's name because you are going to follow up with them, you are going to put their first name, their last name, and their telephone number into your planner every single time. Even if you happen to have their name and their telephone number in your phone and it's programmed in, write it in that planner anyway. And that will probably be the piece of advice that you will thank me for the most, because you will be surprised how often your phone dies, or you forget it at home, or you forget that you're supposed to follow up with somebody until you're already out. And if you can just reach into your bag, open up that planner, there's the person's name, there's the person's telephone number. You can jump right on it, and you don't have to worry about searching a database or trying to find, your smartphone or any of that. You can just dive right in. Okay, so when you call them, it is recommended that when you call them, you're going to call once and you're going to leave a message. Then if they do not answer, that is. Hopefully they're going to answer. But if they don't answer, you're going to leave a message. And then you're going to call them 2 more times that week if you don't get a return call back. You don't necessarily have to leave a message those 2 times, but you want to try to give them a call back at least 3 times over a 7-day period. Sometimes people are just really busy. I'm kind of one of those, you know. I know, again, a lot of people out there are feeling, oh, I don't want to bug anybody. You know, I don't want to make them feel bombarded. But I am one heck of a busy woman. And if you want me to listen to you talk about your products that I need, even if I need it, even if my intention is to call you, if you don't call me 3 or 4 times, we are probably not going to talk on the phone. And it's not because, you know, I'm blowing people off. It's just because we're all busy. And the person that you're trying to get a hold of is probably busy too, and they could use some stress away, trust me. so that first week, call them back 3 times. If you haven't heard from them, leave them 1 more message that next week and wrap up the message, okay? So I've heard this recommended as a 3-week process. That's kind of what I tend to follow as well. So I'll leave 1 message the first week, and then try to call a few more times. I'll leave another message the second week, and if I still don't hear from them, on the 3rd week, I will give them a call, and I will just say, hey, Sally, listen, it's Beverly again. We met over at the Starbucks. You were wanting some more information about my peppermint oil because you had a headache and you gave it a try. So I just wanted to let you know that this was just going to be the last message that I was going to leave for you. If you are interested, or if at any point in the future, you know, you find yourself in need of another essential oil because of a headache or a cold, feel free to give me a call back. Here is my email address, or you can find me on Facebook and then leave your Facebook URL. People tend to connect on Facebook faster than they do on your phone. And so I have also gotten in the habit of just asking somebody, hey, do you Facebook? You would be surprised how many people will actually give you their Facebook URL and know it. It was astounding to me. So I had to shorten mine. Otherwise, there was no way that I was going to know. And so, you know, feel free to friend me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/theleafdrop.beverly. So the leaf drop is in, you know, leaves that fall from the tree. Anyway, so let's talk then about people who bought a kit, okay? So you've wrapped up, you know, let's say that you've gone through a couple of people and, you know, you've called through them and you've gotten messages and, oh, I'm skipping one here. So let's say that you actually get them on the phone. So you call the first week, the second week, and somebody answers. So what do you tell them? Well, what you're going to tell them is the exact same thing that you told them in the Starbucks, which is you might go into a little bit of that simple structure class beginning, which means that, you know, first of all, you're going to ask them how their head is doing. You know, ask them a few questions about that symptom that connected you to in the first place. You know, how often do you get headaches? Are they usually, you know, bad? Are you the only one in your family that experiences headaches? Is it run in the family? You know, get them to talk about some details about their symptoms and about their life and really see how Young Living can help them. Now, they might need some background. So with everybody that I speak with about essential oils for the first time, I always cover the question of what is an essential oil. So don't forget to do that. There are a number of people out there who do not know what an essential oil is. And sure, they may have taken your bottle and they might have tried some. And so they understand, you know, what it is. You know, they throw a couple of drops in a bottle. But really express to them what an essential oil is, which, of course, an essential oil is the lifeblood of the plant. It is the part of the plant that is responsible for getting the nutrition from the and the oxygen from the roots of the plants all the way up through their tips. And if anything were to happen to that plant, it got injured, a fungus was trying to attack it. Whatever was happening, it's that essential oil that would rush in and really start to fight those things off. So the medicinal benefit of a plant is held in its essential oil, and that is what is in the bottle that you tried at Starbucks on Thursday. So feel free to share that information. Talk about the quality of essential oils. I actually have a really nice visual now that talks about the different qualities of essential oils. And so I will post that in the Road to Convention Success team because I really found it astounding. I often talk to people about the quality of essential oils, and this one graphic actually did the job for me of explaining, what therapeutic grade is versus other grades of essential oil. So go into that with them. And then at the end of your conversation, have an invitation ready for them. And here's what that invitation can look like. First of all, invite them to a class that you have. So you want to invite them to a class that you have going on already, if you already have one planned. You can also just invite them to, hey, if you want to join me, give them some options and say, I would love to get together and show you a few more essential oils. Would you prefer to meet at your house, my house, the coffee shop, my office? What do you think? Because believe it or not, different personality types like to meet different places. So there's some personality types that are very professional, and they want to get together with you at your office, and there's no other place that they want to be besides your office. People who are more social are, they're coffee shop, bagel shop, deli people, and they want to meet out and about. And then there's a few people that just want you to come over to their house. That's where they feel comfortable. Come on over, we'll go through some oils. And there's some people who will want to meet you at your house. They want to snuggle up and have a cup of tea while you talk about essential oils and be relational and get to know each other. So keep that in mind when you're inviting people to know more about essential oils. You can also send them a media pack about essential oils. Young Living does some great videos. If you're on YouTube, just search for Young Living channel and subscribe to the Young Living channel. And the different videos that they actually send out are fantastic. They're great for getting people more information. Okay, so let's talk about people who purchased a kit. Maybe they were at your class, or maybe the follow-up in situation number 1 was really effective, and so they actually got to the point where they purchased a kit. So what do you do now? This is a fantastic place to be. This person just handed you money in exchange for essential oils, and they're excited. Trust me, they're going to be excited. They want to know about essential oils and what they can do and how to use them, and they want to use them now. If they could go home with their kit today, they would do it. So what you want to do is there's 2 ways that you can work this situation. One is there are a lot of leaders and a lot of builders who are now, they have a kit on hand that they can hand somebody who just ordered a kit, and then you drop ship that person's kit to you. If you do that, it really speeds up the follow-up process, but not everybody can do that. With most people, you're going to go online and you're going to place their order, or you're going to help them place their order online, and then you're going to get into your planner, or however it is that you keep up with your time, and you're going to count out 5 to 7 business days. And what's going to happen is that 5 to 7 business days down the line, you're going to give them a call, and you're going to go through every single solitary essential oil that is in the premium starter kit. And you want to take the time to focus on the oils that will help the symptom that they were experiencing. They have a why to why they bought that kit, and you need to know what that is. And you probably already do. If they purchased a kit from you, it's because you've done a fantastic job of getting the information across, and they're going to have a reason and an oil that is for them. So let's say, for example, that the reason why they bought the kit was because they were experiencing some insomnia. They weren't able to go to sleep. So you told them, okay, here's what I want you to try. We're going to try some lavender. We're going to try some Stress Away, okay? So when you call them back to follow up, you're going to go through every single other oil and let them know how that oil might benefit their sleep issue. Okay? Now, that's not the only issue that you will cover, but hey, you know what? If they're putting lemon in their water and they're using peppermint to breathe it in, and they're getting that mental clarity with a little boost of energy throughout the day, they will be worn out by the end of the day. If they're experiencing pain, their back pain, knee pain is keeping them up at night, they can use the Pan Away for that. They can use lavender to relax. A couple of drops of stress away on the top of their neck and over their shoulders. Take them through every single oil. Have them open the bottle and smell it. If you're doing it face-to-face, that's fantastic. If it's over the phone, just make sure they've got that kit in front of them and that they're experiencing these oils. Then what you're going to say to them is, hey, listen, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to call you 1 week from today. Is that okay? Can I call you, Monday night at 7 o'clock? And what I want to do is I just want to make sure that these oils are working for you. And they're going to say, yeah, of course, you can call me back then because I want to make sure that these oils are working for me too. And if not, I want to know that there's somebody who will give me an alternative. Like, the lavender didn't work, so you should try the stress away. Or, this didn't work, so you should try that. The different things that we can do with that kit, the combinations are really endless. So make sure that you set that appointment with them to talk with them the next week and make sure that those oils are working for them. Now, if you call back and they don't answer the phone, use the same structure that we did in situation number 1. Call and leave a message. Hey, I was just wanting to know how those oils are working for you. If that, the next week, leave another message. And if they don't, pick up and you get to week 3, leave another message and close the call. And the reason why you want to close the follow-up and just leave it at, hey, listen, if you need any help at all, I want you to know that I'm here for you. You can reach me by my email. Here's my email. Feel free to give me a call or a text message, and we will connect again. But make sure that you close it because if you run into them again, it makes it less awkward. It's so funny how if you leave an open-ended call that was basically just never, ever, ever returned, if they see you again, they feel awkward. They don't really know what to say. Do they apologize for not calling you back? Do they make up an excuse? So if you just let them know, hey, this is the last time that I'm calling you. I just wanted to, make sure that everything was going fantastic with your oils. I'm sure it is, but if you need any help, you can feel free to call me. If you leave it with a conclusion, everything will go fantastic and they won't feel awkward when they want more information. So that's what the purpose of that close is, to follow up, if you have to use it. Many times you're not even going to have to use it because people are going to be excited and they're going to want to get together with you about their oils. So a question that I get a lot, and I'm going to cover this right here, is when do you talk to people about essential rewards? Essential rewards is one of the most important things that you can talk to a new client about, and it is part of the follow-up system. So what I do is I wait until that client is getting ready to make their second order. So they've bought their kit. I've called them a week in. We went through their kit. I called them the week after that. And the week after that, we decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to add some Ningxia Red to your regimen because I think it's going to help some of your symptoms. And since we're going to do another order, we may as well make it an Essential Rewards order. So let me talk to you about that. What Essential Rewards is Essential Rewards is a way that Young Living will actually reward people who regularly purchase from them. So what happens is you will sign up for Essential Rewards, and on this order, on this Ningxia Red order, you're going to get 10% back that you're going to be able to use towards free products. So for example, we're going to get the 2-pack, so that's $120. Not only is the shipping going to be capped because Ningxia Red is heavy, trust me, you want minimum shipping. So the shipping is going to be a lot lower, but then you're going to have $12 in your Essential Rewards account that we can use even next month to order some free products. So here are the biggest objections about Essential Rewards, and you can like the way that I cover it, or there's a few other situations that we'll go through as well. But what I tell them is I say, okay, so today is the 19th. It's January 19th. I'm going to call Young Living, and I'm going to have them put in your Essential Rewards order. Now, if you sign somebody up for Essential Rewards the first time, and you look in there and there's no more available dates for that month, you can call customer service and have customer service put in the Essential Rewards order for you so that it goes through on that day. So utilize that tool, especially as it pertains to your income and growing your business. Feel free to call them and have them put it through that day. Then on February 17th, I'm going to give you a call and we're going to go through your order and we can change your products, or we can cancel Essential Rewards, or we're going to go through it together until you are comfortable going online and, doing that yourself. So what you do is you take away the biggest two fears, I'm going to say, when it comes to an Essential Rewards program is, first of all, people are worried that their credit card is going to be charged and they weren't expecting it. And then people are also worried that they're going to get a box of products that they don't want. So by you including that in your follow-up with them, it takes away those objections, because now you are the one who is going to take on the responsibility of giving them a call a few days out and making sure that they have all of the products that they want. We can also offer incentives. One of the things that I like to do with people that I personally enroll, I don't even do it with my whole team, but just with people that I personally enroll, one of the incentives that I like to tell them is, and if you stick with the Essential Rewards program at 100 PV every month, I will give you the large essential oils desk reference for free. I'll ship it to you. And so what that does is it takes your customer who month one bought their kit, and then the next 3 months, they're going to be on Essential Rewards because they're motivated by getting the big Essential Rewards desk reference. So now you've turned a one-time customer into a 4-month client, and they will fall in love with the Young Living by then. People start using the products, they start feeling so much better, and you can really transform somebody's life in 4 months. And I will actually give them the large EDR first. So, and I've never had anybody go off of Essential Rewards early. It's amazing. So they'll say, yes, I will commit to Essential Rewards for the next 3 months. I will say, fantastic, here's your book. And I've never had anybody go off of it early. So keep that in mind. Or you can be creative and come up with some other sort of incentive. But that's Essential Rewards, and I definitely use it as part of our follow-up. So now let's talk about leads, okay? Because after a while, no matter how wonderful you are, and everybody on this call is fantastic and great and wonderful, but you will eventually run out of your warm market. And you're going to have to reach into your cold market and start figuring a few things out as it pertains to talking to brand new people who do not know you about essential oils. So one of the ways that I recommend, and one of the things that I have committed to do this year, is doing one event every single month, okay? So I like to grab members of my team and say, hey, here's an event that's coming up. Who'd like to do it with me? And we'll split the cost of that event, the table, and we will go and we will work that event together. And so that is a fantastic way of getting leads. Or if you want to do it by yourself, you can do it by yourself as well. And so you will have a stack of leads. Let's say that you go and you do it by yourself. You're going to have a bunch of leads because we're going to be talking to people about essential oils. So you'll have your bottle of oil, and you will have people who will be coming in to smell it, and you'll ask them, have you ever experienced an essential oil before? And they'll say yes, or they'll say no. And then you'll ask them, well, would you like to experience some of my essential oils? And they're going to walk up to your table, and you're going to show them how to use an essential oil, and you're going to allow them to put that into their palm and smell it or dab it on, whatever they're doing. And then you will invite them to join something that you're doing. So you will say something like, oh, I actually have essential oils classes that I teach right here in town. Would you be interested in receiving an invitation to one of those classes? So, or you can invite people to webinars, or you can invite them to coffee. Whatever it is that you want to do, you need to extend an invitation to those people, and you're going to end up getting a stack of leads. Now, you're going to treat those leads the same way that you did the leads before, which is the first thing that you do is you go home and you put everybody in marketing sense, okay? Then you're going to go through and you're going to email. You can use your Gmail for this if you don't have marketing sense, or you can use the email now button in Marketing Sense to type up an email and send it out. Whatever your preference is, you want to get that email out within 24 to 48 hours of the event. The most important information to capture is their first and last name, their email address, and their zip code. And the reason why you want the zip code is because every single time that you're doing something in that area or that Young Living is coming to that area, you can do a search by zip code and you can send it out to the relevant zip codes. So let's say that you are working that event with somebody else. So you go to that event together and you have split the cost. So now what do you do with the leads? Well, obviously, you 2 or 3 or 4, however many people are at this table, you will have some people that you're going to connect with one-on-one, and you'll really dive into some good information. You want to take time with the people who decide to talk with you one-on-one. And so then you're going to have people that you barely touch, and they just jot down their contact information and they continue on. Okay? So what I do is for everybody that you have connected with, you're going to write your initials on the back of that lead. And at the end of the day, you're going to divide them up into piles. So I'll have a stack of Beverly leads, and I'll have a stack of Angela leads, and I'll have a stack of, of just everybody that has worked this table with me. We're all going to put down our stack of leads of people that we connected with one-on-one. Then we'll go to those general leads, and we're going to go through and we'll even out the piles. So let's say that I had 7 people that I personally connected with. And so we'll go to the next person's stack, and let's say that they had 5. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll add 2 to their stack. And then we'll go to the next one, and maybe they had 8. So we'll go back to mine, and we'll add 1 to each to make sure that there's 8. And so we'll go through, and to the best of our ability, we will even out those piles so that everybody leaves the event with the same amount of leads. Now, you're all going to work the leads the same. You're going to do the phone calls the same. You will probably, if you're working together at a table, you may even be inviting them to the same classes, the same follow-up classes if you're working as a team. So keep that in mind, and that is one of my favorite ways to split up leads is actually just doing it by the even pile. So let's talk about classes when you actually hold a class. If you are the upline of somebody and they say, oh my gosh, I am so completely excited, I want you to come to a class for me. The first thing that you have to determine is if this person is a business builder. And really you do that by asking them. I know, I wish I do have my secret formula that, of the 3 things, taking a look and seeing, are they doing a 100 PV order every month? Are they willing to hold a class, which obviously is yes if they're saying, hey, come teach my class. And then are they willing to do the follow-up of everybody at the class? And that one is a little trickier because you haven't tested it yet. And some people will tell you, yes, I will absolutely do the follow-up. And then the time will come to do follow-up and they won't do it. And so it's kind of your best guess. But chances are if they're inviting a bunch of people to the class, that they are totally okay doing the follow-up. And so keep that in mind. So with those guys, what happens is you will show up at the class with the intention of training them how to do a class. And so you'll let them know, absolutely, I will be there, Sasha. I am going to teach your class for you, and I want you to sit down and I want you to take notes about how to teach this class because we're going to get you up and running, and you're going to be teaching basic essential oils classes before you know it. Okay, so you're going to go in there, and everybody who comes to that class because they are there because Sasha brought them, they are going to go under Sasha. So she is going to get the enroller for the most part. And of course, there is a difference between business partnerships and whatnot. But, for the most part, Sasha's going to get the enroller, and she's going to get the sponsorship of everybody who's coming because she did all of the work in getting them there. And you're going to teach the class, and then, 1 or 2 classes later, Sasha's going to be trained, and she's going to know how to give these classes, and then she's going to be giving those classes all on her own. That is the perfect situation. Now, let's say that you're hosting a class with somebody. Well, the way that typically works is that if you're hosting a class with somebody, everybody that you invite who shows up goes under you, and everybody that they have personally invited who shows up goes under them. And if you decided to do some advertising, or you're maybe at the library, so you have a couple of people who just wander in, the people who wander in get divided between you and that person. Now that, of course, is assuming that the cost of holding the class is being shared between the two people. And sometimes you have to look at each situation individually. So if it's just a basic essential oils class, there's really very little cost involved in that for the most part. But if it's a special class or maybe a regional event and, people are coming out to speak at it, that will have to be considered individually, on an individual basis. But for the most part, that's how it works. Okay? So the same follow-up happens with everybody who comes to a class. You're going to have people who are going to buy a kit, and you're going to have people who don't. Regardless, everybody gets put into Marketing Sense under product users, and they fall into the callback scenario. Okay, so you're going to start to call them back. Hopefully, they're going to pick up and receive an invitation. If they don't pick up, you leave them a message, leave them the last message, close it off, and move on. But they'll still be receiving their one email a week for the next year. So don't worry, you're going to be getting your information and your contact information. So I want to outline what the follow-up for a business leader looks like as well when somebody decides that they want to build a business. Okay? So for somebody who has more of a product bend, regardless of how that lead came to be in the different situations that we've previously talked about, step one is always putting them into Marketing Sense under product user. Step two is giving them a telephone call within 24 hours to 48 hours of the event. And step number three is extending an invitation to them to meet you one-on-one or to go to a class that you already have set up. So what do you do with those people who say, yes, I am interested in the business? Step number one is you're going to do a 30-minute phone call. And during that 30-minute phone call, you're going to give them just enough information to really kind of wet their whistle a little bit about Young Living. And you're going to ask them, why do they want to build a Young Living business? What was it that really interested them in the essential oils that made them think, I think building a business would be a fantastic idea right now? What's going on in their life that having a second stream of income is going to be fantastic? And then, ask them, can they commit? Or don't ask them, but just ask leading questions. You really need somebody who can commit 7 to 10 hours every single week in order to build a steady income with Young Living. So see if that's going to fit into their life. And if it turns out that it's going to be a fantastic situation, then you follow these 4 trainings that we've been going over the last few weeks. You'll do a business call training number 1 with them. And during that time, you're going to set up their first class. Then you're going to teach them how to do a class, and then they're going to go do that class. And then you're going to teach them how to follow up with these people, which will probably lead to more classes and more sales. And then you're going to work with them, and you're going to train them on how to do these classes and how to train people, how to train other people on how to do the classes. And their business will just be up and running before you know it. So that is really the overview of how to really follow up with people. And here's what I want you to keep in mind. Yes, again, with everything, there is a duplicatable component to it, which is that everybody is going to end up in your email system. That regardless of when they buy the kit, you're going to count the 5 to 7 days out, or if they receive their kit right away, you're going to schedule a time when you can get together and go through it. You want to call people back. And when you call people back, be really happy to talk to them. And so here's a little tip, because, follow-up can be intimidating. I have felt very intimidated calling through leads after an event. You would think that I would not have an issue with people who told me that they wanted to hear from me. But all of us, I think, at one time or another, we struggle with the follow-up because it's an emotional thing for us, right? You don't want to be rejected. You don't want to make the person on the other end of the phone mad. You don't want to intrude into their lives. These are all very natural emotions that we all feel at one time or another when it comes to following up with someone. So here's what I want to encourage you to do. I want to encourage you to set aside time in your planner that you are going to use to follow up with people. And this is part of the 8 hours. It's part of the 80-20 split, and it lands on the 8 side because you're following up with people. And I want you to get your stack of people that you're going to follow up with, because it's always better if you can do all of your follow-up at the same time. So set aside, say, an hour to do follow-up, and find your favorite cushy chair, wherever it is that you sit and you can be completely comfortable for an hour. For me, I'm never comfortable talking on the phone sitting. I travel all over my house. I pace back and forth. I'm walking all over my office when I'm on the phone. So I have to have a comfortable room. But you want to get cozy in that chair. You want to brew a cup of tea, have your favorite cup of tea with you, and just sit down and just feel, breathe in and out and just feel very grounded and, feel very strong. And when you call somebody back, if you're calling them from that position of strength, then they're going to know that, and they're not going to feel like you're wishy-washy or that you are nervous. People can tell when somebody else is nervous. And sit down and look at that lead that you're getting ready to call back and write out, 4 or 5 questions that you can ask them before they even answer the phone, so that when they pick up the phone, you already know what to say. Hi, Jennifer. It was fantastic meeting you at the Spring into Summer event that we happened to be at this weekend. I was actually at the Young Living booth, and you had, you felt really rushed and kind of, disconnected, and so I had you breathe in some stress the way that you loved, and you asked me to contact you if I was having a class. And so this Thursday, we're going to be getting together. But, let me ask you, how did that stress away help? Did you sleep better? How often do you feel stressed and disconnected? Ask them some questions about themselves. Write them down so that you make sure to hit them. And just get really comfortable with doing follow-up. Feel more like you're about to have a fantastic conversation with a potential new friend over, geez, I've got to call somebody to sell them some stuff. Because we all know that nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to be helped. And that's what our focus really needs to be on, is how can we help them? And if we maintain that, that acknowledgement that we are not here to help ourselves by getting big old fat paychecks, even though that's fantastic and we are doing that at the same time, we are here to help them figure out how these oils can help them in their life and where they're at. So that is the end of the follow-up that I have for you. I'm going to wander my way now back to my computer. Like I said, I wander when I talk. And I'm just going to see if there's any questions. So if anybody has questions, feel free to type them into the chat box right now. Oh, what is in the educational emails? Okay. The educational emails, what's interesting about them is that they are already pre-written by Marketing Sense. So you don't have to really think about what goes in them. Now, if you are constructing your own educational emails, there are some things that I recommend that you put in there. First of all, I recommend that the email is actually aimed towards a specific symptom. So for example, that email might be about stress and how you can use essential oils to relieve stress. Okay? Then you want to recommend a regimen. It's really nice if you have a testimonial to go along with that. And just about anything, you can pop into Google and you can Google stress Young Living essential oils, and it's going to pull up regimens for you, and it's going to pull up testimonies for you. So have a symptom, include a testimonial, and then include products that you are recommending they purchase and put those products together. So for example, if you are going to do stress and relaxation, one of the products that you may offer is, okay, well, first of all, for stress and relaxation, we want to make sure that we're cleansing out our bodies because stress can put a lot of pressure onto your liver. And so let's add some lemon to the water that you're drinking. And let's add some stress away to the back of your neck and the tops of your shoulders at night. And let's add some lavender on a cotton ball placed underneath your pillow so that you're breathing in lavender. And so then at the bottom, after you explain all of this, you'll have a little area that will say stress away, the product number, and then I'll list the wholesale and the retail price. And then right underneath that will be the lavender, and then right underneath that will be the lemon, and then you'll total it for them at the bottom. So that way they don't have to go searching for how to purchase the products. So that's my recommendation for the educational emails. Do keep them heavy on the recommendation and small on the sales, and I think you'll find them to be really, really successful. Let me see here. Okay, so Catherine asks, would you treat orphan accounts given to you the same way when it comes to the follow-ups, and how would you start the conversation? What I would do with orphan accounts that are given to me that you just kind of see in your downline, they just appear there, and you're not really sure how they got there. Or you receive the email, that says, hey, here's some orphan accounts, congratulations. Okay, what I like to do is I do put them in the same follow-up system, but what is interesting is that you don't know why they signed up in the first place. But here is somebody who has essentially spent money, and they don't have an upline, and so you were assigned to be their upline, and you've got to follow up with them. So I will usually give them a telephone call, and I will ask them, I would just let them know, hey, my name is Catherine, and I saw that you made an order with Young Living, and I just wanted to call you and thank you so much for, trusting us with your health. And so tell me, what are you hoping the oils will do for you? Or, what are you experiencing that you are wanting the oils to help you with? Ask them why it is they ordered so that you have some foundation and some common ground to start with. Sometimes you can see, sometimes you can't. It just depends on how they were given to you. But start there and then make sure that they know how to use the purchase, whatever it is that they got, and then ask them if you can follow up with them the following week to make sure everything was going okay. Now, sometimes those orphan accounts are a month old already, and so they've already had their products and they've already had them for a little while, so you've got a little bit of catch-up to do. But if they know that you are calling for the sole purpose of answering their questions and making sure that they know how to use what they purchased, they're pretty forthcoming because, again, they want more information. So, okay, well, I think that is the end of the questions that I see. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording while we wrap up here.